It's like a great cheese for this wine. It's like a ring to this finger. Actually, it wouldn't be a normal ring, a metallic ring, but it would be one of these elastic rings, which you can fit to your finger, imagining this hand is your organization, and it would fit perfectly. And it would also allow you to grow perfectly, no problem. You could even grow up to 8 teams, and it would fit perfectly. What if I need to grow over 8 teams? With some minor adjustments, you could grow a lot, up to many, many teams. That's LeSS and a fast-growing organization. It's a perfect match. And it's a perfect match because LeSS is not simply a structure, it's not simply a way to arrange your teams, but LeSS is more. LeSS is a key CAS toolkit to scale Scrum in your organizations. LeSS comes with 10 principles. LeSS offers a set of basic rules to start, and LeSS will come with a set of practices and ideas to adopt it. I've been working, leading, and supporting fast-growing organizations since 2009. I've been working as a CTO in Skype. I've been CTO in Grupalia, and I spent 2 years at King.com, the company behind Candy Crush. And in the last 2 years, I have been applying LeSS, especially at King.com. So with all this experience, I have to say that I love LeSS. And today I'm going to explain you 3 reasons why I love LeSS and why I say this. The first one is adoption. LeSS is in essence Scrum. It's basically Scrum. There's just some small adjustments on top of it, really intuitive, but it's Scrum. It's so easy to start with a team and then include the next team and then the next team. Everything is really intuitive. That makes it really easy and really cheap. You're not going to need a change group or a change initiative inside your organization. The change is going to be continuous. The change is going to be the new status quo of your organization. LeSS adoptions have support themselves over 3 points. The first point is that we are going to go to a deep and narrow adoption rather than a broad and shallow one. What does it mean? It means that we're going to take a division, part of our company, we're going to start doing LeSS with these teams. We're going to start iterating, we're going to do sprints again. We're going to fail. These failures are going to trigger learnings, and with these learnings, we're going to gain more and more trust. Once we are ready, we will go and include the next team, and the next, and the next, because it's really easy. We don't believe, Xavi I think mentioned something similar before, we don't believe in this false dichotomy that we do bottom-up and top-down, but we actually need to work in both ways, in both directions. We need to do a holistic approach. So we are actually going to work with the teams. We're going to give them a lot of empowerment. The teams are going to feel that this thing of Agile and LeSS, it's really nice, it's really cool, but we definitely need to work with management. But the work with management, it's about helping them to learn and to shift their mindset from control to support. This starts with a lot of self-education. You need to bring them to trainings. They're going to need to read books. They're going to need to have a lot of coaching. A lot of support is going to be needed. But once they're ready, they're going to be asked 3 things. First thing, show in public that we are decided to go for LeSS. We are going to adopt LeSS in this organization. Second thing, they need to commit to make structural changes, which are going to be required. And the last one is that they will have to provide support to the organization during the transition. The third aspect of LeSS adoption is that we're going to rely on volunteering. So we're going to use the intrinsic motivation, what Gabriel called before selfishness. So we're going to take advantage of this selfishness, of this intrinsic motivation, to have them coming on board and pushing the initiative. So whenever we have the first pilot team, we're going to try to get volunteers for the pilot team. We're not going to name people. If we want to, when we start creating the communities of practice, we're going to look for volunteers again. We try to rely on that. The second aspect, why I love LeSS, is that the way we're going to shape teams is not going to be component teams, but we'll rather go for feature teams, or ideally for customer-centric teams. This is because usually when your fast-growing organizations start growing, you need to scale agile. We tend to create these component teams where people are really focused in their specialty. They get close, they do their own stuff. We are their payment gateways team, we are doing our stuff, but they actually get far from our clients. So when we create feature teams, our teams are looking at our clients. A component team usually is focused on his code, on his stuff. Probably they are doing maybe not only coding, but they're doing some testing. And they are basically, probably each one of them is writing their own part. Even if they are the component, probably he's the owner of his own files, his own classes. But as a team, they don't touch anything out of their components. However, a feature team has the whole product focus. He's looking at the whole thing. This team actually connects with the client, with the users. And they are also responsible end-to-end to take the feature live. So a feature team includes experts per each one of the components or platforms that our application has. Ideally, as I said before, we're going to try to have customer-centric teams. That is, taking feature teams, but going a bit forward. So once we have this feature team that is really concerned and they have the whole product vision, the whole product focus, we're going to try to go a bit further, and we're going to try to have them actually understanding the users, understanding which kind of users are using our application. So let's say we are online travel agency. A feature team might be we are the travel, the flights, and the hotels teams. A customer-centric team might be we are the online, we are the business travel team, we are the romantic travel team, or we are the whatever other team. So we actually understand the need that we are covering. But these teams we are trying to create in LeSS, they also move on the other direction, and we actually have them co-creating the product with our users. We'll go that later. I'll tell you an example later. The third aspect, why I love LeSS, is that we're going to keep a really simple organizational structure. And here comes the bomb. We're going to keep one product owner for up to 8 teams. What? I see your faces there. It's simple, you'll see. Because we have created our teams not internally, but looking at our clients. We have created the business travel teams, or we are the whatever. Because we created like them, we can separate the prioritization phase from the clarification of the user stories. So we can have our product owner prioritizing what needs to be done, and once we know what needs to be done, we can bring our clients to work together with the teams, clarifying what needs to be done, writing the user stories, understanding it, and then the product owner will deprioritize whatever he decides or not. Let me give you an example of this. So I guess you realize that what we are doing here is we are extending the team's responsibilities. It's a whole process from this to there. Last year, early 2014, I was coaching the Papa Bear Saga team at King.com. Papa Bear Saga is a game that had a yearly revenue of 60 million euros, so it's a quite big thing. And, I was one day at the office, and in the morning when I arrived, I found out the next situation. What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's happening here? What's this? What's that? And I said, and there was Xavi Palau, he was the lead producer of the game, and I told him, Xavi, what's going on here? What's that? And he said, Fernando, we released yesterday the next episode 10, with the 20 new levels, and the level 253, nobody can pass this level. And I said, well, but how do you know it? And he said, because we have these great monitoring tools, and we see that it's not going through. And I said, okay, so why don't we take advantage now, and we start bringing our users together to work with us. Immediately after this, we launched the beta tester panel, where any user around the world could sign up. And during our 2-week sprints, 2 weeks releases, our users, over 500 people subscribed. These users were collaborating with us, creating the levels. So our game designers were creating the levels daily, sending to them, gathering feedback, asking about how the complexity was, and asking about, understanding and co-creating with them. So we actually started shifting towards the co-creation. There was another situation there. Even if the reviews in the Play Store and in the Apple Store were pretty good, we knew that something was not that good, because actually we knew we had a lot of bugs. And we thought that fixing all those bugs probably would get better reviews. But this team was initially shaped like this. They were component, even class-level individuals. Each one was owner of his own code. So after some weeks of work, they became being collective ownership of his code, of the application, and immediately they understood that they would actually need to work looking at their clients. So after every day's daily stand-up, we started reviewing all the reviews in the App Store. So it was not anymore the responsibility of the product owner, but all the team, we had a huge screen and we were reviewing all the reviews. And guess what? We realized that, we were fixing bugs, we were developing a lot of new content, but we were not doing what our users were asking us. Once we did this was the situation. This is what we found. After these 2 initiatives of co-creating the levels and actually listening to what our users were saying and doing what they said, here you have the percentage of 5 stars review. Well, actually you have all stars review, but the one you see better is the green. Those are 5-star reviews of our application. Boom. Huge impact. So with all this setup of co-creation and feature teams, you can imagine that there are some changes on the framework, but these are really, really small changes. It's really intuitive, because we have these feature teams. You're going to have to discuss in the first stage of the refinement. We have to know which team is going to work in which feature. When we know that, we're going to bring the users to discuss with us. Same for sprint planning. We'll have a first stage of sprint planning to discuss what team is going to develop it. Second stage is going to be normal sprint planning. We'll add a new Scrum of Scrum with team representatives, not with Scrum Masters, not with whatever. It's going to be developers joining 3 times a week to synchronize if there's any kind of dependency. And we're going to do a single product review, sprint review, with all the teams, kind of a bazaar. We're going to have the product here. We're going to bring our users, either in person or online, but we actually want their feedback here, because it's the only moment that we put everybody together to speak about the product. And we're going to add an overall retrospective at the end of the sprint to discuss all the systemic issues we might have. So that's it. So remember, these are the 3 reasons why I believe LeSS is perfect for your fast-growing organization. First one was adoption. It's easy, it's continuous, It's low risk because we minimize and we go deep and narrow. The customer centrism, we're gonna keep everyone's focus in what's really important, our users. The simple structure organization, so we close the gap between users and developers. And in essence, that is less. So now it's your time. It's your time to feed your curiosity, to keep learning, or to actually start learning about less, to practice, to go out there, bring it to your organization, and do less.